Are you struggling to get JUnit 5 tests running with Gradle after successfully running JUnit 4 tests? You're not alone. Today, we are going to tackle this common issue and get your tests up and running smoothly. I totally understand how frustrating it can be when your tests don't run as expected. You see that build successful message, but deep down, you know your tests aren't executing. It's a common scenario that many developers face. Let's dive into the specifics of your situation. You mentioned that after switching to JUnit 5, your tests aren't producing any output, and even adding a fail statement doesn't change the outcome. This is definitely puzzling, so let's explore it together. The issue you're facing often stems from configuration problems in your Gradle build file. JUnit 5 has some differences compared to JUnit 4, and if the setup isn't correct, your tests may not run at all. Let's break down the potential causes. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to fix this issue and get your JUnit 5 tests running smoothly with Gradle. To begin resolving the user's issue, we need to ensure that the correct dependencies for JUnit 5 are included in the Gradle build file. The user should replace the existing JUnit 4 dependency with the appropriate JUnit 5 dependencies. Next, the user should ensure that the test task is configured to use JUnit platform. This can be done by adding a specific configuration to the test block in the build file. Now, let's check the folder structure to ensure that the test classes are located correctly. The user should verify that the test class is in the right directory and follows the package structure. Finally, the user should run the tests again using Gradle. They can do this by executing the command Gradle test in the terminal. This should now produce the expected output, indicating that the tests have run successfully. Here's a fun fact. JUnit 5 introduced a new programming model and architecture, which is why it can be a bit tricky to set up if you're used to JUnit 4. But don't worry, once you get the hang of it, you'll love the new features. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by another user is to refer to the official JUnit documentation for using JUnit 5 with Gradle. They recommend a simple build.gradle setup that includes the Java plugin, Maven Central repository, and the JUnit Jupyter dependency. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach shared by another user suggests that if you're using Gradle version 4.10, you might not need to include the test configuration block to enable JUnit 5. Instead, simply adding the necessary dependencies for JUnit Jupyter API and engine should suffice. The user also notes that they couldn't find any specific release notes explaining this change in Gradle 4.10, and they invite others to share insights on why this might be the case. Here's a pro tip. Always keep your dependencies updated. This can prevent many issues down the line, especially when working with evolving frameworks like JUnit. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to run your JUnit 5 tests with Gradle successfully. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more troubleshooting tips.